would die and go to hell before I would sell an annuity.
Give this guy a hug.
Just absolutely screwed up. Not a case anywhere that a fixed annuity is the answer.
In this tiny clip, Caleb, there's so much. I'm laughing, but I'm also sad at the same time.
At my age, with where I'm at, I'm not putting money into annuities, but it doesn't make annuities bad.
Don't sell annuities. I would die and go to hell before I would sell an annuity. Most annuities have nosebleed level fees, don't do what the customer thinks they do, have tremendous tax problems, are hard to get out of once you're in them, and are extremely confusing with a contract that's about that thick. These products are not made to benefit the customer. The real winner is the salesperson. Anything you want to do with annuities, there's a better way to do.
Call now for your informative free report, Annuity Insights.
What's your response to that?
Well, I mean, you know, that's somebody you want to hang out with at a party. That sounds like a fun time. Hang out.
I want to follow that guy on stage. Like, I'm serious.
Yeah,
like, you know how whenever you're speaking and the person right before you is like really, really good?
Yeah.
Like, man, that's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
This guy needs a hug, man. But he literally said a couple things. He's like, I'm pretty sure maybe you remember his quote, but like,
yeah,
you could do anything better. Like annuities are the worst thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I've seen some people like lose all their money, Ken. Like you know, are you going to tell me that?
Yeah. In this tiny clip, Caleb, there's so much. I'm laughing, but I'm also sad at the same time because number one, I mean, it's obviously just a really, a marketing piece. I mean, they're trying to sell Fisher Investments, which, you know, they can sell Fisher Investments all they want. But again, there's a great white paper called Retirement Alpha. And I really believe everybody should read this white paper because in that white paper, Tom Hegna literally shows like every single resource and other white paper from economists agreeing unanimously that the optimal way to retire is to use some form of lifetime income to hedge against longevity risk. And so, you know, I mean, we could just debate that all day long. Where I'm sad is in the United States every year, tens of billions of dollars are flowing into annuities, you know, more so than the year before. Another way to say that would be more and more people are buying annuities in the tens of billions of dollars, right? And so if you look at a company that manages assets for a fee and they run into somebody with an annuity, it's going to be very difficult compliance-wise to talk them into take the surrender charge on your annuity, come manage the money with us. We're going to do it better. It's hard to do. So they're literally losing market share in the tens of billions every year to annuities. So they've put out these anti-annuity campaigns. And what's sad is they only work with people with 500,000 and up. But what they've done is they've created this really powerful marketing message that's seeped into the minds of a lot of people. Like the number one thing I hear when I sit down with somebody is they're like, well, you know, if an annuity comes up is, well, I heard annuities are bad. Because they see this, you know, these ads everywhere. I hate annuities and you should too. So it's actually creating a negative psychological impact on the people who probably could benefit from them. And they don't even know anything about them or why. And so he's really actually created a huge impact with this campaign. And that's why I'm sad because, you know, he could just really promote Fisher Investments and why they're so good as opposed, but it's a powerful marketing technique, right? Same with politics.
Totally is.
You attack one side hard and you polarize it so people come to your side. It's just a marketing tactic, but it's hurting people. And that's why I'm sad.
Yeah. I hope that people can see through that.
Yeah.
I'm all about having a good debate of like, hey, like there's a world like currently at my age with where I'm at, I'm not putting money into annuities. Why is that? Like we could have conversations. It's like, maybe it's because I'm under 30 and an entrepreneur and like, but it doesn't make annuities bad. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, these are different tools and like, and anyone that's saying this is the thing for everyone, even the people out there talking about whole life insurance, properly structured whole life insurance is not the right fit for every single person. In fact, 95% of people should probably just focus all their time in making more money because anything that we could talk about Roth IRAs, 401ks, life insurance, all this stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe that's a little bit better, but you have a values problem. Like you have a creation of value problem and that might hurt some people's feelings. But at the end of the day, like that's the thing that's actually going to move the needle. So we can badmouth things all day long, but we're really not helping the person. And I just wish, and I hope people can see through that. Clearly some people can, but I do think we're in our generation, like people are like, okay, I don't really trust you if you're all for this one thing. Yeah. It's just like your credibility drops like a rock when you're just like all in for one thing.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You gotta be holistic and really out to serve people, meet them where they're at.
So this next clip, this is a gentleman that I would not want to follow from stage because he's a phenomenal speaker, very passionate, like a lot to learn, quite frankly, I have a lot of respect for Dave Ramsey and just the passion and the heart that he has for helping people. Yeah. Obviously we have our disagreements on quite a few things. He has this clip. There's over 500,000 people that have seen it. It seems like, just because I've watched it once, it seems like this woman doesn't really know what she has. She's a little bit scared. Dave like just makes it sound like the people that worked with this lady are the worst people in the world from like 2 sentences. I don't know how he knows what she has, and then goes on an annuity rant. Yeah. I'll be honest, dude, after watching this, I'm like, yeah, he has good points. And I was like, I asked you coming on how strong, because I have another Dave Ramsey weaker clip, but we're going the strong clip.
Let's go with the strong clip.
Like, yeah, man. I got to get my money's worth here. Sure. And so what I want to do is we're going to play this. If you want to stop, just speak up and I'll pause.
Okay.
And let's just, but like, I would love to hear your thoughts in this whole thing. And then in the middle of the clip, he goes on to like what an annuity is. And I would love to know, like, what are the things he got right? What are the things he got wrong? And what would be your critique on that? So without further ado,
I just want to say, I am a huge Ramsey fan in the sense that I think he's probably made the biggest impact in terms of helping people get out of debt with his debt snowballing framework. Like, he's making an impact. And he's definitely helping a lot of people's lives. So I love what he does in the getting out of debt space. And for most of America who's like living paycheck to paycheck, can't handle a financial emergency more than $1,000 in a month, arriving to retirement with less than $25,000, like, you know, he's doing a lot of great work. So I love him in that space. When he moves into retirement, that's when I've started to like push back a little, because that's my field. And there's things I agree with and there's things I don't. But let's watch this and see.
All right.
Hi, thanks for taking my call, Dave. I'm so pleased to speak with you.
You too. What's up?
Well, I'm hoping you can guide me. I think I've made a big mistake. My husband and I just started doing your plan in August, and it's been amazing, but we're on baby step 2. But this has to do with an old 403B that I've had. Nothing's being contributed to it. But earlier in the year, back in April, we went to the financial planning services that my company sponsors and pays for. And they did a full workup, and I had been kind of having sleepless nights because my value would go from, I'd lose like $20,000, you know, and then I'd get, anyway, there was a lot of risk. So they suggested that I move some money, $166,000, into a traditional annuity within my 403B retirement account, guaranteed. So right now, 30% of my $577,000 that's in there is now in this annuity. And now that I've started listening to you, we're following your steps, I'm starting to realize that probably was a huge mistake.
Yeah, it was.
And I don't know what to do.
Okay, pause right there.
I would contact them and see if they can reverse that.
Okay, so the whole clip is right here. Like, if you're listening to this lady, first of all, this is my biggest thing right here. We don't know anything about her. Like, this is not even close to enough information. I meet with people 3, 4, 5 times before I open my mouth and say, here's what I think would be a good thing. That's, you know, like, so we don't know anything, right? And the fact that she said she's having sleepless nights and there's too much, like, if you're having sleepless nights over your money, then you are not aligned with your proper risk capacity. I'm sorry. Like, you're just not. The person that's helping you has not done a good enough job of figuring out what your, like you call it, your investor DNA. Like, you're not aligned with what you need to be happening, you know, for your retirement. So, I mean, right there, that's a big deal to me.
I think Dave has a track. Annuities, play the tape. Whole life insurance, play the tape. Credit cards, play the tape. Credit card points, play the tape. Like I give consistency compounds, and he's the king of consistency. But I'm like, he goes right into what he's about to say. He doesn't know how old she is. He doesn't know what her goals are. He doesn't know if she's like interested in distribution. I mean, she sounds somewhat young, so maybe, but like, who knows? And he goes right into like, this is what I think he's gonna say. Cancel and work with my people. That's I don't know, but like, we'll see. Anything else you want to say before we
retire? Right? What's the deal with what's going on with their spouse? What's their situation with taxes? What it's just like it's so much we need to know. Like, what's her social security going to be? Like, there's a million.
Well, Danny, when you can get 10% distribution, you can do no wrong.
Yeah, everyone can do that.
But doesn't that make a lot of sense? Like, if you actually believe that, it makes sense why he believes what he believes.
Oh yeah, no, I know what I said. Like, if that was real, everybody would do that.
I'm in. Sign me up. Yeah. So let's finish this guy. I know we both have a hard stop.
Okay. Put it back into mutual funds.
Okay, because they said it would be like a 10-year process of taking, a 10th out each year, and so then that's.
Oh, so they put you in something inside of a retirement account with a surrender charge.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, these guys are absolute screwballs.
So I need to. It's in my 403B, and it's in kind of retirement.
Yeah. So I mean, find out what you're.
So he says they put you in something with a surrender charge inside of a retirement account. Again, we don't know how old this lady is. We don't know her other assets. We don't know her needs or priorities or anything. But if this is a traditional IRA and she did a rollover, okay, and she's under 59 and a half, the probability of her using cashing all this money out, so unlikely. It's like almost unheard of. I mean, she hopefully would have a good emergency fund where she could use for emergencies that's not IRA money, like a big 12 to 24 months of expenses. If she's following the program, she'd have plenty of liquidity. There's no relevance to that whatsoever. The surrender charge is irrelevant because she's not going to probably touch that money during the surrender charge period anyway.
Exactly.
Penalties are what your surrender charges are. And you may be stuck there. But the other thing you got to weigh it against is you're probably making 2% on this thing instead of 10 or 12.
Exactly.
And so if your surrender charge is 10%, take it and move it and put it in something that makes 10% more the first year, you recoup.
Wow.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
I don't know what your surrender charge is though.
We would freaking lose our license if we were like, cancel that thing, and we didn't do our due diligence and see what she's actually has.
Caleb, what company would take it? You wouldn't be able to even disclose that. You wouldn't be able to say, hey, I want to move money to my company. I'm going to advise the client to take a 10% penalty. The company that you're trying to move it to would reject it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand.
Stupid thing might be 40%. I don't know.
So call them and ask them about surrender charges.
No, tell them that you are really upset now that you learn what it is they actually sold you, that they put you in a surrender charge product inside of a retirement account, which is absolutely screwed up. That's ridiculous. I mean, you got 2 sets of penalties on this money now if you need to get to it.
Right.
The government and these,
which that is true, right? You have the government taxes potentially if she's under 59 and a half. And then you also annuities do have some type of surrender charges so that you can't just take all that money out. What you're saying is people in retirement accounts aren't necessarily taking out their money anyways. It's for retirement. And so the reason that people have annuities is for distribution. And Dave Ramsey, he only looks through the lens of growth. Right. And he's like, well, if you have any product that's capping some of the upside, that for him, when you're making 12%, anything that's prohibiting you to make 12% is a ripoff.
Yeah. Again, this is why he's brilliant. When you always use a 12% return every year, you're always going to win in any situation. But Caleb, what's the strategy with a retirement account? Take out small withdrawals over a long period of time, not large withdrawals in any one year. Everyone knows that. And when you think about why you put money in a retirement account in the first place, it's to grow the money to be the most it can be, so you can take out as much as you can for as long a period of time as you can, as safe as possible. That's the job description of an annuity. So it's it's just contradictory.
All right, let's finish this clip.
Idiots. Yeah. So now I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but let's see what they can do to get you out of it. Tell them you're not happy with them, and we want to get you moved, and see if you can lean on them a little bit and get it moved, and then get some advice from somebody else before you make any more moves. and like a Smart Vestor Pro that has a clue what they're doing.
Gosh.
So,
I watched it ahead of time. I knew he was going there. My confession.
all right, let's stop a second. What is an annuity? An annuity is a life insurance company product. It's a savings account with a life insurance company.
It's not, by the way.
There are two types of savings accounts with life insurance companies: fixed and variable. Fixed pays you basically a CD rate, 1 or 2% right now, which is what she's in. And it grows inside of an annuity, tax deferred, like a 401k or an IRA does. And you pay extra fees for the annuity. So here's what's happened. You have a tax deferred 403b, and they moved her into a substandard horrible rate of return that she's paying extra fees for and is also tax deferred. That's redundant. There's tax deferral on the tax deferral. You can't double dip on this. You get one shot at this, and she already had all that for free because it's inside the 403b. It didn't need to be in an annuity. But she got scared with her risk tolerance, with the stuff moving back and forth, and so these goobs dropped her into this thing. Well, why is that bad? Because then they put you on a surrender charge, and then it takes 7 years to be able to get your money moved out of there without getting hit with some kind of a charge and gut punched. And so there is 0 times, never, not a case anywhere that a fixed annuity is the answer. Never. There's always something better. Because a fruit jar at least doesn't penalize you when you take the money out early. And you're not making much more money on it than a fruit jar anyway. You can also do a variable annuity, which is a fine product, but not inside of a retirement account. The variable annuities are mutual funds inside of an annuity, and they have some actual benefits after you've maxed out all of your retirement accounts. Not against variable annuities once you've maxed out everything and you've paid off your house. But you don't need to use a variable annuity inside of there because you're paying extra fees for the tax deferral and the benefits of the annuity.
You got 2 minutes, dude. What's your final thoughts?
You know,
on,
it's the same thing as the Fisher video. They're selling services, and to the detriment of potentially people who hear that and think they should do the same thing without any proper, guidance or analysis. And so, I mean, he's saying they charge for tax deferral. That just comes with it. He's assuming there's fees. There's plenty of products that don't have fees. Again, I'm not standing up for annuity. I don't want to be like the annuity defender here at all. But it's just it's just misrepresented there a little bit. Like it wasn't. I think that there's a better conversation to have than annuity or not.
Totally. And I think it really comes down to distribution. I put annuities in the fact of like, hey, you're saving for a reason, you're investing for a reason. What's that reason? It's for future cash flow. Yeah. If a product could be positioned in a strategy that could enhance that, would that be something that we should look at? If you're 30 or 40 years old and have an annuity and I could make the argument that maybe you could get a higher upside in other vehicles, but then on the flip side, what an annuity could come in really handy when it comes to distribution. Everyone's in a different portion. There's some people that lose sleep at night with money over here. Having an annuity over here might just balance them to be able to take more risk. And so all that to say, it's always funny to me, but like even things that he talks about, like fees, like no annuity that I've ever sold has fees. And he talks about surrender charges, and I get it. If you want to take all your money out, yes, there's a surrender charge. Yeah. But in a lot of cases, in a lot of annuities that we work with, we're doing low surrender charges, and it's you're not going to take all that money out anyways. Because if your money's in an IRA and 401k, you're getting charged as well if you're taking all that money out.
100%. I mean, if the cash flow from an annuity meant that you were confident to spend the money on a family cruise and make memories with your family while you could, and you were healthy, and it made an impact on your grandkids for the rest of their life, like you can't measure that. I mean, it's powerful. So I'd love to do another video on the history. I just did a talk on the history of annuities. They've been used for thousands of years by big institutions for a long time. I mean, they serve a function.
Yeah.
They're not bad or good. So we should catch up on that sometime.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put your info. Guys, if you want to have a conversation with Danny and you're like, hey, I want to talk about my retirement situation, we'll make sure that there's a link there. So Danny, get me a link there. We'll get your YouTube. And then guys, if you have questions about annuities or have other reaction content, this won't be the last time Danny's on. I'm going to do more content like this. So Danny, appreciate you. Thanks for laughing with me.
Fun, man.
Take care, my friend.
It was an honor. Appreciate it.
All right.